What's going on, guys? ImNotMagic here, and really quickly before I even get into the video, I really just want to maybe politely ask you guys to drop a rating on this video, whether you want to do it right now or at the end. A rating would be greatly appreciated. The past few videos, the ratings haven't been as high, so I just want to make sure that you guys are still enjoying them. And I mean, if you're not, then leave me some constructive criticism in the comments. Speak up, say like, Drew, I didn't enjoy this video as much because for this reason. I really like this video better because of this. Be constructive. Let me know, because my whole goal here is to entertain you guys. So if you guys aren't entertained, then I'm not entertained, or I don't know. Let me know. But the reason I wanted to do this video was, and I don't think it's a secret, that my most heavily requested video to do is my first time smoking weed, or anything really involving drugs. And I'm seeing it on a daily basis, just a bunch of comments, a bunch of tweets, even the occasional message gets sent in telling me to do a series like this, or not a series, like a video like this. And I've said it before and I'll say it right now, my first time smoking isn't anything special. I mean, it's not going to be that great of a story in my opinion. So, I mean, if you really want to hear it, then I'll still do it, but I really think that it's not that great of a story. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you still want to see it even after this video. So anyways, now getting into the actual topic of this video, why my parents think or thought that I smoked. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty frustrating experience for myself, at least, because, and you guys know, like, I've only smoked like once or twice in my life, and so for someone to think that I'm like a stoner is kind of annoying. I mean, and even to this day, people still like don't believe me when I say that I didn't smoke. Like, only my good friends who have hung around me a majority of my life actually know, like, hey, this guy actually doesn't smoke. And even like this girl that I was recently talking to, not like actually like talking to her, I was just, we've gradually become better friends, but back in the day she didn't know me that well. And so like while we're getting to know each other better, one of her questions that she asked me was if I've ever smoked, and I told her no. She didn't believe me, and for like a week straight she just kept pounding me with the question, not believing a word I said. And so finally I just told her, because I'm thinking in my head, if I just tell this girl, yeah, I've smoked once or twice, she'll believe me, she'll be over it, and we could just move on. So next time she asks me, I'm just like, yeah, I've done it once or twice. She still doesn't believe me, and I'm just like, what do you want from me, honestly? So, I don't know, I think she's convinced that I smoke on a daily basis. But why do my parents think I smoke? Well, on occasion, back when I used to skate, I would come home smelling like smoke. Now this, to my mom, was just an incredibly big deal. And there was times where I'd come home and she'd come up and give me a hug and just like try to like casually sniff me, and I'm like, what are you, my dog? Like, I'd push her away, like looking at her. And for those of you who skate, when you go to a skate park, there's people who smoke there. They smoke cigarettes, which are perfectly legal. And if there's 5 or 6 of them smoking, I mean, my skate park isn't that big. Even if I'm not associating myself with them, if I'm there skating for even a half hour, I'm eventually going to start smelling like smoke. So when I come home, if I smell like smoke, that's not my fault. Don't blame me for that. Go blame the dude who's smoking with his shirt off and long hair. But I think the most convincing reason that my parents for the longest time, and maybe still do, think I smoked, or did smoke, was because of one particular week. And this was when I was in 6th grade when this happened. This was kind of like the first time this type of issue had ever been brought up. Basically, it happened when I was at school. I was in the locker room, and I think I was changing because I was just at PE, and so I was changing back into my regular school clothes. And the lockers at my middle school, like, they had more than enough lockers, so some just didn't have locks and they're just vacant. And on occasion, if you open them, you would find maybe a couple bucks, maybe a pair of shoes or something. You would occasionally got rewarded if you turned something in that was valuable to the lost and found, like a phone or like a nice pair of shoes. So, it was kind of like playing almost like a game where you would open a locker and see if you could find like a prize in there. So I opened one of the lockers one day just randomly, and I see a lighter. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I lit it, and it actually worked. And I'm just like, I could probably like light some fireworks or something. I don't know. I was thinking with my 6th grade brain. So I bring it home, and it's just in my jean pocket, you know, and I'm not even paying much attention to it. And then in the next few days, I decide to wash those jeans, and so when I grab them, I feel something like hard in the back pocket. So I, you know, go to see what it is, and it's a lighter. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember getting this. And so I go over to my desk and I put it in this little cup that I had that held pencils, and I just put it in there. I wasn't trying to hide it or anything. And so maybe a week later, my parents are in my room for whatever reason. I think they were talking about my grades or something. So they're both in my room. My dad's kind of like walking around, and I wasn't in trouble at the time. You know, it wasn't like they were like giving me the talk. My dad comes over to my desk and glances down at my pencil holder thing and sticks his hand inside, moves a couple pencils around, and pulls this orange lighter out and just gives me the deadliest stare of my life. I thought I was going to crap my pants. And for like 30 seconds straight, he was just staring at me. My mom's staring at him, and I'm like looking at him like, holy shit, this is the end of my life. Someone call the funeral service to give, I don't know. Finally, he speaks up and he's just like, what is this? And I'm like, lighter. And I almost want to say it's a fucking lighter, you dumbass, but, you know, I think I'm in enough trouble as it is to not, you know, piss my dad off more. It took me at least 30 minutes of saying, I just found it in my pee locker, I don't smoke weed. And finally, I'm just like, you know what, if you really don't believe me, go drug test me. So eventually, they dropped it, and I didn't get drug tested, but they never, like, they still think that I smoke weed, like, for like 4 years straight, and if they still do, I don't know. It's kind of annoying, though, and maybe some of you guys can relate. When you don't do something, and people accuse you of it, it's like, come on, I didn't do that. So I don't know. It's kind of a frustrating thing, but it's, you know, it's whatever. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story. If you would be so kind as to leave me a rating. That was the weirdest way to say that. But, you know, I'm just going to cut myself off before this commentary runs on any longer, because I feel like if I talk